FYI, I am logged in virtually.
Good evening. It is 6 o'clock. I am calling to order the Fountain City Council meeting for December 19th. Please join me for the last flag salute of the year. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Thompson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rick.
Here.
Councilmember Hinton.
Here.
Councilmember Applegate.
Here.
Councilmember Estes.
Here.
Councilmember Hersberg.
Here.
Councilmember Duncan. 6 members present. Councilmember Duncan did notify staff of her absence.
Okay, thank you very much. So Councilmember Rick is online. I wanted on the agenda, the first presentation on their volunteer award for Don Miller. He was unable to make it tonight, so we'll just put that off to another evening. So that will take us on to 4.1 presentations, department update, administrative services. Mr. Trilch.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Get myself organized here. Okay, great. Well, good evening. I'm John Trelch. I am the City Administrative Services Director, and it's my pleasure to give you your last departmental update brief of the year. And I realize that I'm probably the only thing standing between you and the Christmas holiday here, so I'm going to get on with it. And some of this will be review that I talked about last year, but really an honor to have an opportunity to talk about some of the great work that the Administrative Services Department is doing for the city. So first off, this is kind of our organizational chart and the different functions that we have placed in administrative services. The Administrative Services Department brings many of the city's administrative functions together under one umbrella. And that helps facilitate support and coordination and synchronization of various administrative functions. You can see there, it brings together the city communications division, finance, human resources, military partnerships, and then you see that dotted line out there on the side, the city strategic plan also falls under me and the administrative services support. So this provides additional leadership space for the city manager, and it helps facilitate and produce that city strategic plan. I showed you this slide last year, and I think the analogy still holds. Administrative services I like to describe as a pit crew. So, the city is the race car, and the great administrative services team is in there kind of keeping the wheels on, keeping it fueled up, keeping the engine, going, making sure that it's ready to race. And you'll see on the slide there the breakdown, into the different functions and a list of all the different things that do. There's actually more than 80 items on that slide, 80 functions that administrative services takes care of every day. So just a tremendous volume of work and effort that the team does to keep the city going and moving forward. So now I'm just going to go down into each division and just talk about a little bit of highlights in 2023, some of the big things that our great teams are doing, and some things to look forward to in 2024. So I'll start with human resources. We've had some turnover in human resources in the last year, but I'm pleased to report that things have stabilized. We've got a really great team of 3. Our new HR manager, John Garrett's just doing a tremendous job, and our 2 generalists, Danielle and Kate, are just fantastic. So we've got a solid human resources team, and we're looking forward to continuing and do great things with them next year. And they're very excited and looking forward to a lot of new initiatives that are coming in the next year, one of which is the implementation of Paylocity. So Paylocity is our new human resources and payroll system. It's going to be a big change for all employees across the city, but it's going to create a whole lot of efficiencies, and we think it's really going to enhance the overall employee experience, which is very, very important. And we're going to be implementing that in the first payroll of next year. February 2nd will be the first time that we're actually fully using Paylocity. So we've been working very hard on that. HR processed 71 job postings in 2023. That's a lot. They were very, very busy, making sure that departments and that the city has the quality employees needed to provide services to the community. One of the big things they did here at the end of the year is they did a 100% review of benefits enrollment and updates for all employees that were currently on the books, 248 employees. That's a really heavy lift to go through and make sure every employee did a scrub, and they found a lot of things along the way. And it's really just reflective of their attention to detail and dedication to ensuring that employees have the highest quality services and are getting the benefits that they have enrolled in. Some of the challenges in HR were in hiring certain positions. And I know, Council, you're familiar with the difficulty we've had in placing some of these. I have some good news this evening that we're getting close on these positions. And so I don't want to say too much, but we have had some great candidates. The interviews are happening, and so I think that they're going to see some good news here in the coming days. But some of these specialized positions has been a real struggle finding them and filling them for the city. But I think we're almost there. City communications, also very busy this year. Some of the items there on top, even council participated in. We facilitated the citizen survey on the ballot initiative for PPRTA with Magellan Strategies. We transformed the Utilinews, which was just a utilities-focused newsletter, into what we now call the Fountain 1859, which is now a city newsletter, and it's now digital with an option to get a mail-in option. So we made that transformation. And we put together a really great event to celebrate the startup of the PFAS facility, the treatment facility that we did in partnership with the U.S. Air Force. So those were just some of the activities. But day-to-day communications is also making sure, particularly in the digital domain, that we've got a good website that provides the information to the community, and then our social media platforms as well. And you can see some of the data there. So throughout the year, 186,000 visits to our website. Our Facebook page, 9,000 followers. PD's got a pretty impressive group with 12,000 followers. Lisa Schneider's worked really hard to put that together, and so we get good engagement on that. And then our YouTube page, 8,400 views. I was actually I was surprised with that number. That's pretty good that folks are actually coming to our YouTube and watching. And the most watched city council meeting was November 14th with 400 views. So it was the one where we had the discussion about the Christmas tree lighting early, and so you can look it up on YouTube and see what had people's attention. So, but one big thing I want to talk about city communications on this slide is at the bottom, and a big change that's going to occur next year. We've had our current website for just about 6 years now, and it's served us well, but recent legislation has really driven us to decide that it's time to change our website and move to a new website. So we're working with SIPA and with the state, and we're going to go ahead and field a new city website next year. And one of the big drivers of that is ADA compliance. So HB 211110 has some very specific requirements of local governments that we have to comply with by July of next year. And so a new SIPA website will help us do that. So it's going to have a very different look. It's going to be a very different approach. I'll probably come back to council and show and tell that as we get closer to fielding it. We'll maintain our current website, so that'll still be up. We'll be building it in the background, and then we'll have it launched before July. So it's going to be a pretty big change. One other benefit to the site being free that I mentioned is that every year right now with our host, Civic Live, we pay about $7,000 to have Civic Live host our current website, and we'll no longer have that fee. So we're going to save some money as well. It's about $7,000. Okay, finance, by the numbers. Finance is a very, very busy division of administrative services. So you can see there in blue on the called out, over 19,000 finance transactions in 2023. You see the breakout there, over 6,000 payroll checks, 2,000 purchase orders, 4,000 checks for payment. They do all this. They also pay the city's audit and the city's budget. And they've been awarded multiple times, 13 straight years, for excellence in financial reporting and for the budget presentation over the last 5 years. So very, very talented team with John Lewis, who will be retiring in February, and then Shauna Dale, pronounced Dale, who will be our incoming finance director. So I'm very excited for her next year.
John, just for transparency purposes, can you verbally explain what P-card means, please?
Yes, that's a purchase card. So those are the city purchase cards that we use, a credit card, to make authorized city transactions. So every one of those, every charge in the city, every single one is reconciled by receipt and is done by the end of the month. And then finance goes through and posts every single transaction with those receipts. And so it amounts to currently over 5,000 of those. At the bottom there, last thing I wanted to call out, and a real compliment to finance department in support of our strategic priority to diversify the city's financial resources. John Lewis and the team, they look at our different investment accounts, and they have moved money between the accounts at different times very strategically. And in doing so, in the current interest environment, they have earned the city $1.752 million in interest, of which $754,000 of that is in the general fund in 2023. That's just interest earned by smart investing by your finance division, moving money between accounts at the right time and maximizing the money and the interest rates that are sitting in those accounts. Real compliment to their efforts in supporting the city and the strategic plan. Okay, military partnerships. Very, very pleased that here in 2023, we were recognized by the U.S. Army, as you know, with the 2022 Army Community Partnership Award, and that's for the work that we've done with Fort Carson on our intergovernmental support agreements. So we currently have 3 intergovernmental support agreements, which I checked the entire list, and so we have the most in the state of Colorado. So we are a leader in the state of Colorado on partnerships with the military bases on intergovernmental support agreements, which, as you know, Council, is where we are actually able to provide services on the base, directly supporting the base operations, and then we in turn receive a benefit in return for that, in our case, through revenue. So some of that revenue you can see there. We're in our third year, the pest control IGSA, $112,000 into the general fund as a result of managing that IGSA. We completed 2 more projects under the general facility construction IGSA. That one has a lot of potential. It's moving a little bit slower getting it going, but there's still an appetite to, and a lot of will. I know you spoke with General Doyle, Mayor, and he's familiar with the IGSAs and like the general facility construction one. So it's so very popular, but I think there's a lot of potential for that one as well. So we finished the first year of our animal control IGSA with the Humane Society, very popular over at Fort Carson. They're very, very pleased with that, and $27,000 this year to the city, and then increasing amounts over the next 10 years. So all said, over the next 6 years, as we look at the different agreements, conservatively, based on the construction IGSA, if that one rose up, we're looking at least $600,000 into the general fund of revenue that the IGSAs are generating to be reinvested into the community with a strong potential for more. And that's $13.5 million worth of services that we provide to Fort Carson, and let alone the strategically invaluable partnership that we have with our neighbor. Okay, just a moment to recognize the crew there, and you see their faces when you come in. Just such a really talented, dedicated team. It's so proud to have the opportunity to work with all of them, and they really keep the wheels on. They really keep things going for the city, and so I just wanted to put their names up there and recognize them for a moment. They really make it happen every single day here at City Hall. And last, speak about the strategists for a moment. Coming next year, very exciting. Hard to believe it'll be our 3rd iteration of the strategic plan, looking out till 2027. So very exciting. I'll be coming in January to the council update and offsite to provide you an update on the current strategic plan and where we are with that through the end of 2024, and then we'll begin talking about everything for the next 3 years. So we'll like I say, we'll walk and chew bubblegum at the same time next year as we finish one strategic plan and begin getting ready for the next one. So that's all I have, Council, pending your questions. I thank you very much for the opportunity to present tonight, and wish you all a very happy holidays.
Okay, well, looks like Councilmember Hertzberg has a question.
Yeah, well, first is really just a comment. The more I meet with city staff members and have, of course, attended council, the more I'm impressed with the amount of revenue that's generated for the city through partnerships, through grants, and this interest income. And I just feel like that's something that's under-celebrated, and that we really need to bring some attention and recognition and celebrate how much our city staff is doing and the millions that it's bringing to us in benefits and projects. I'm just amazed, so I just wanted to comment.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Councilmember. Am I calling you Councilmember Corey, or am I calling you Councilmember Applegate now?
Applegate.
Councilmember Applegate.
Thank you, Mayor. Senate bill, what was that Senate bill again, John? 21, what?
Yeah, 1110.
1110?
Yep.
Okay,
It
and
has,
that's,
new requirements for ADA that we must be compliant with by July of next year.
okay, by July next year. Thank you.
And
Appreciate
we're
that.
always working on our current website to be ADA compliant, we work very hard at that, but this definitely, is within the state, is really forcing local municipalities to make some hard decisions to ensure that we're compliant relative to our digital footprint and what we're putting out there in the digital space publicly.
And just to let you know, we are working a lot with our elected officials, and because we're not saying we don't want to become ADA compliant, what we're saying is it's extraordinarily more expensive than people were anticipating, and to find the people and have the ability to do it in a timely manner. So there are a lot of talks, and Lisa Godwin is involved with that, and so keep your ear to the ground on that if you hear stuff about it, because like we said, we're not saying we don't want to comply. We're just saying we need a more reasonable timeline because as people have dug into this and really researched it, there's always more issues with anything new than you anticipate. Councilmember Hinton.
So speaking of the website, John, can the public find what you just presented tonight on our website anywhere, or?
This briefing,
Yeah,
Councilman?
or just the information that you kind of gave us
I
tonight?
certainly can post it up there. It's not there now,
Yeah,
but if you think that would be beneficial for
I
the
think it would be
public to see,
beneficial.
I'd be happy to put it up.
Yeah, as Councilwoman Hirschberg talked about, that it needs to be celebrated, it needs to be told of the great work that the city staff is doing to bring in those additional funds for the benefit of the city, right? None of this
Right.
goes home with us. It is all for the residents in the city of Fountain, right? And so we need to kind of celebrate those highlights and celebrate the staff and their many accomplishments that they do. So if you could put that on there, that'd be great.
Will do. Thank you.
I'd echo that and go a little further and say, maybe we can make it a little bit more Facebook friendly.
Sure,
And start getting it out there on some of the Facebook pages too to be shared around. Because the more we can get it out there, the better, because the staff is working really, really hard. Yes, thank you. All right, any questions from the audience? Nope? Okay, thank you very much, appreciate that. All right, yeah, you too, thank you. All right, that takes us on to item 4.2, Board, Commission, and Committee. We have no appointments tonight. Correspondence, comments, and ex officio report. Mr. Trainer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have anything other than just wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Todd?
Mayor, the only thing I've got is CDOT did delay their closure from last week to tonight, so they will be closing the northbound exit 128 northbound tonight. So it is all-night work, which is the good news. That's all I've got.
All right, Troy?
Nothing for me tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, Chief?
Just one thing, last reminder for Blue Santa on Saturday. Council would like to attend anywhere between, say, 8 and noon. We're going to be there all day, but that's probably the prime hours for any of you all that would like to attend, and I'll be there as well. Other than that, have a great holidays. Thank you.
You're going to be kind of doing like a drive-through pickup?
Yeah, it's going to be similar to a car wash we did there a while back. It'll be a drive-through pickup all Saturday day. There's going to be about 300 people, and then those who cannot pick up, we will deliver to their house.
All right, just a word of warning, if you do come and it's in the bay, those bays are in the shade and they're cold and the wind gets going through them, so even if it's really nice outside, you need to really layer up, because I was like hiding around the corner when they did that during COVID.
Yeah, and I think Saturday's supposed to be a little interesting weather, so we'll see.
Yeah, but you get that little wind tunnel going through there and, yeah, so, all right, thank you. Mr. Trilch, anything else?
Nothing additional. Thank you.
Okay, IT?
Nothing this evening other than happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you. Sylvia, Clerk's Office?
The only thing I have is I will be contacting you each individually about some information that I need back from you, so just look forward to my email. Thanks.
We always look forward to your emails, Sylvia. All right. I will start online with Gordon so I don't accidentally forget him. Anything to share tonight, Gordon?
Just want to apologize to staff and the council and the city. My wife's not feeling well, and she was exposed to somebody who had COVID. So out of an abundance of caution, I'm staying away because I don't want anybody to be quarantined during Christmas. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for not sharing that. Councilmember Applegate.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. So,
All right, Councilmember Hinton.
Yeah, echo the same thing. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope that as we issue or come into the new year 2024, we can be more peace-minded and more calmer heads prevail. I look forward to the new year.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Estes.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'm going to jump on board with Councilmember Hinton and totally agree that we need to have peace in the world and to be tolerant of each other.
Councilmember Hertzberg.
Nothing much, Chair. I just started my onboarding meetings and spent 2 very powerful, informative hours with utilities today and learned a whole lot. And I've got loads of other meetings lined up the next several weeks, and so I'm just excited to learn more. So thank you for their patience in advance for all my questions, and happy holidays.
It is a lot of information. And don't feel bad that you have to go back 6 months later and ask it again, because it's a lot of information. So, well, I have a lot to report tonight, because everybody seems to think they have to squeeze all their meetings in during the last couple weeks of the year. So just some things I want to make sure council's aware of. PPACG, we are very, very concerned with the Area on Aging funding. The Budget Committee has said they are taking the funding for, this is mostly for transportation and things for senior adults. They are taking the funding back to pre-pandemic levels, which is 2019, 2020 funding. That is going to have major impacts on those services that are provided to seniors in our areas. So we authorize staff to go before the Joint Budget Committee, along with several other areas on aging around the state, are trying to work together to see if we can get some more funding for that. I attended the Disability Coalition meeting put on by Representative Ortiz and others. They went over possible upcoming legislation and he really wants to do a lot to the DIA airport on accessibility. But it was very interesting to see everything that they are potentially bringing forward, and I'll be putting together a summary and getting that to Scott to distribute to our legislative partners, and so that'll be interesting. The Front Range Rail Project, we had a meeting. We're not supposed to call it a commuter train anymore that they're talking about, because a commuter train implies, there's a little sarcasm in my voice here, sorry. A commuter train implies that you're having lots of stops along the way. They want you to start calling it an intercity rail, so implying that they're going to have faster speeds and longer distances between stations. So, it will be the largest special district in the state. They will be able to levy taxes off a 24-person board of directors. They are planning on using the existing rails that we have, and they have to have competitive travel times, the law says, and the service must be competitive with the traffic flow times. So, I'm not quite sure that's a real good mandate, considering how slow it is up to Denver some days. But anyways, so a lot of the questions that were coming out of that meeting were how many per day, how many are they going to have in the morning, how many in the evening, and the answer just said, well, we think we're going to have a few in the AM and a few in the PM, and that's all the information I could get out of them from that. So we will keep working on that. The VFW had a great dinner for students that won an award on a patriotic writing, and the first place winners that are going to be going to the state now, and that's really exciting because we have some kids from Fountain that are going to go to that, and if they win state, then they get to go to national and potentially get like a $15,000 scholarship and all expenses paid to trip to DC. I had a great tour with Major General Doyle and his wife. We toured the Humane Society on Sunday, and that was a really, really good tour. And if everybody bear with me for just a second, I asked Lexi for one of the letters that was delivered to our Santa box, and I wanted to kind of share that a little bit. And just when Scott, did she send that to us yesterday? There we go. Okay, it was yesterday. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to read this without any identifying information in it, but just to say, it's from Kim. I'm sorry. You all know I'm not a computer techie person, so I'm just going to prove it to you right here, right now. Scott, if you can pull it up, go ahead and. Oh, okay. All righty, just 1 second. It's a really, really good letter. Kind of one that pulls at your heartstrings. So wanted to share it with everybody, and let's see if I can get it. Oh, it could come up, and it's not going to come up. Okay. Well, the letter basically says, Dear Santa, I wasn't going to write to you because my mom, because we're having such a tough time, and my mom's really struggling. And but my mom said to go ahead and write. And so he just lists what he would like for Christmas and what his sister would like for Christmas, but he really doesn't have any hope because he knows they have a lot of bills and they don't have a lot of money. And it's just one that really tugs at your heartstrings, and I want to assure everybody that that family is taken care of, and they are going to have a nice Christmas. But, those are the kind of letters that get dropped in our mailbox, and that we sometimes forget, they're just not right in front of your face for the needs in the community. So I was really glad that mom went ahead and reached out with that letter. So hopefully there isn't anybody who wants to squeeze in a bunch of more meetings between Christmas and New Year's, but I guess I'll find out, huh? So that takes us on to the consent agenda, item 7. All items listed under the consent agenda are. Thank you very much. All righty. I think I skipped that last week, too. We'll go back to public to be heard. Citizens may address the council on items not on the agenda. Council may not be able to provide an immediate answer, but will direct staff to follow up. Out of respect for council and others in attendance, please limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. I'm going to start online tonight. Do we have anybody online? Because I don't have any cards from in the room.
I'm showing no one online tonight, Madam Mayor.
Okay, no one for comments online. Okay, and I did not receive any cards for anybody wanting to say anything tonight. Okay. Item 7, consent agenda. All items listed in the consent agenda are considered routine and will be approved with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which case the item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately at the discretion of council. So we have item 7A on the consent agenda, the approval of the December 12th, 2023 City Council minutes. Councilmember Applegate.
Move to approve the council minutes from our last meeting in December 12th.
Councilmember Hinton.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for consent agenda. Is there any further deliberation from council? Seeing none, please vote.
It's locked out, Sylvia.
We spoke anyway. Shows me it's good to go. Mayor Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rick, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Councilmember Hinton, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Hersberg, how do you vote?
Yes.
6 yes, motion carried.
All right, thank you. That takes us on to item 8, old business. There is none. Item 9, new business, consideration of items removed from the consent agenda. There were none removed. Item 10, City Council agenda request. City Council shall use this time to request any items for future consideration. Councilmember Applegate.
Nothing at this time.
Councilmember Hinton.
Nothing tonight.
Councilmember Estes.
Nothing.
Councilmember Hersberg.
Nothing.
Councilmember Rick.
Nothing tonight, Madam Mayor.
And the mayor has nothing. So that takes us on to item 11, announcement of an executive session. In accordance with the city charter, oh, Sylvia, that's your part. You go ahead.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay.
A lot of things going on. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to request an executive session pursuant to CRS Section 24-6-424 for the purpose of review, approval, and amendment of executive session minutes, and pursuant to CRS Section 24-6-424B for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions regarding land use review, and pursuant to CRS Section 24-6-424B for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions regarding city property lease.
Okay, since we are requesting this in open session, that follows the law, and so if consent, the closed executive session is not given, items may be discussed in open session or withdrawn. We do have that request from our city clerk. What would council like to do? Councilmember Estes?
Move to go into executive session.
Councilmember Hinton?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for going into executive session. Is there any further deliberation? Seeing none, please vote.
Councilmember Rick, how do you vote?
Yes.
6 yes, motion carried.
All right. I know it's so short. It's only like 6:31, I feel. Going to adjourn the city council meeting. Thank you very much, everyone.